Hey soccer fans, welcome back to Glass House Soccer. I'm your host Nick, and in this episode we are going over my 2024 MLS All-Star Game ballot. And also joining me in my kind of studio audience, if you will, in my basement office audience, my daughter Eleni and my son Teddy are standing by, and they are going to give you their MLS All-Star ballots. Yes, we're going to get into the minds of a 10 and 8-year-old soccer fan here, MLS fan here, and we'll see what they come up with. But to start off, I wanted to let you know kind of what I was looking at. Yes, statistics are important and where your team is sitting in the table is important, but I like to watch exciting players. And, you know, as a Chicago Fire fan, there hasn't been too much excitement here, so I've had to go elsewhere to find some exciting play and really enjoy my Major League Soccer. But to get my ballot off to a good start, I am going to start with the Chicago Fire goalkeeper, Chris Brady. I think that even though he doesn't have the best statistics, definitely not the best save percentage or goals allowed, a lot of that falls on the defense. And for those who follow the Chicago Fire closely, they will know that those handful of draws that the Chicago Fire had would all be losses if it weren't for Chris Brady coming up with 1, 2, 3 big saves each and every game. He is so quick. He's got some of the best reflexes of any keeper out there. And this really hasn't been a year where we've seen a particular MLS goalkeeper like become this amazing player, the clear front runner. Yes, you've got Hugo Lloris out in LAFC, the big name. Yes, you've got Roman Berkey in St. Louis, who's having an excellent season following up last year. But I think you hear all the other names too, like an Andre Blake or a Dane St. Clair. Those guys are not having particularly good seasons, even by MLS standards, let alone their own standards. So I think Chris Brady, for all he has done to keep the Fire from having, you know, twice as many losses this season, I think he deserves a lot of credit, and I think he would represent the MLS All-Stars very well in net. Now, going from left to right along my defensive line, I have Caleb Wiley from Atlanta United, Rudy Camacho from Columbus Crew, Miles Robinson from FC Cincinnati, and Mo Farsi from the Columbus Crew. Now, looking at the outside backs, Wiley and Farsi, yeah, Farsi beat Chicago once. I'm going to remember that play. But these guys are two defenders who can do it on both sides of the ball. They do know how to play excellent defense, but also they like to get forward. They like to get involved in the attack. They work so well with their teammates that it is always exciting to watch them. Additionally, watching Caleb Wiley's international career develop, it won't be long before we start seeing him wearing some red, white, and blue uniforms. So I really like these two exciting outside backs. Now for your center backs, Rudy Camacho and Miles Robinson, these are just big, strong, physical defenders, and Robinson can get it done a little bit off of set pieces. He's got a little offense that he can add to his game. But watching the two of them play against the Chicago Fire and how they were able to shut down Hugo Kuipers. Now, we all know from the Chicago side of things that our DP striker has not been getting good service, but in these games, you see how well they are bodying up on Hugo Kuipers and on every other striker around the league. So I got to give these two guys credit. Their teams have some of the least amount of goals allowed in MLS. Looking at my defensive midfielder, we've got Eleni of Real Salt Lake, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his first name because I don't want to insult the man. But Eleni has been part of a very, very surprisingly good Real Salt Lake team. Of course, we know their offensive power, but they are a very good defensive team, clogging up the middle, preventing some counterattacks by those Western Conference teams who do like to run counterattacks, whether it's LAFC, LA Galaxy, Minnesota United, Sporting Kansas City. All these teams love to run counterattacks, and it's Eleni who has snuffed out a lot of them. For my attacking midfielders, Lucho Acosta and Robin Lod. Now, Lucho Acosta, we all know about. He was the reigning MLS MVP. The man can do it shooting, scoring, passing, dribbling. He's got everything. And like I said, when he is on the ball or near the ball, it is always exciting to watch. Meanwhile, Robin Lod has been steadily on the rise as a player, and he's been starting to get international call-ups now. I believe he's He's from Finland. I think that's where he's been getting his call-ups. And he is overseas now getting ready for the Euros, I think. So hopefully he can cap off, his best MLS season with an all-star vote. And he's also added a bit of offense to his game. We've known him more as a defensive player for Minnesota in the past, but now he is starting to get on the score sheet, or more of a role player for Minnesota in the past. Now he, like I said, getting onto the score sheet, making his offensive presence felt, and definitely someone to keep an eye on, especially in that real beautiful Starry Night jersey there. For my 3 attackers, 2 of these should not come as any surprise. Number 1, Leo Messi. And I hate to try and pander to Inter Miami in the league and all of this, but come on. He is, I think, leading the league in assists. He is tied for 3rd in goals scored, so I think that puts him squarely in the lead for total goal contributions. The man can do no wrong when he is available and on the pitch. Next striker, Chicho Arango, the Golden Boot leader, a guy who has single-handedly not made my fantasy team be the worst in my league here. If it weren't for his goals, I would clearly be the worst team in my fantasy league. But other than that, he can do it in bunches. He once he gets into a groove, he is nearly unstoppable. Just watching him in that Chicago Fire matchup, 2 goals, 2 assists, an amazing game for him. He has not only taken on the burden of being the man in Real Salt Lake, being one of the top goal scorers in MLS, the top goal scorer to date. He used to play for LAFC. Went away and came back. He could have just said, I'm just going to be complacent. I'm just going to hang out. I'm never going to relive the glory days of my LAFC time. But no, he is surpassing that now. So a lot of credit to him. Like I said, whenever he's on the ball, something exciting can happen. Finally, my 3rd striker, I went with Denny Bouanga, and it was the excitement factor that kind of put him over, say, Benteke, who we know is got some great aerial prowess and is the target for all of DC. I put him ahead of a couple other forwards who, like Luis Suarez, because he's playing very direct, especially with Messi feeding him, with Busquets feeding him passes and assists. Bouanga, though, when he gets on the ball, he can make things happen off the dribble as well as receiving a pass, 1-2 touch strike. So I like him for that excitement factor. I think he's got a lot more to give in the second half of the season, and so that is why I added him onto the All-Star roster. Of course, it's hard to pick an All-Star and say I'm picking them because of what they're going to do, but I just feel like he's going to have a resurgent second half of the season, and maybe that All-Star game can kick him off to it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and confirm my team, and the last thing I need to do is pick my captain. Now, this is a tough one because there's Messi, who's like everyone's favorite for the All-Star ballot, as well as to be the captain. You've got Arango and Bouanga, who've worn the armband for their team, as well as Acosta. I can't recall if Robin Lod has worn the armband for him. Robinson's worthy of it as well. I wish Chris Brady could wear the armband for the Chicago Fire. I would love to see him in that role up top. And I think I just have to go with the guy who's done it for me consistently. I'm going to go with Chicho Arango. I want him to wear the captain's armband. He is an MLS guy, and I think that is perfect for him. And maybe Lucho Acosta with a close second, but I would love to see Arango with the armband in this matchup and see him carry the MLS All-Stars to victory in the All-Star weekend. So with that, I want to thank you all. We are coming up to our halftime break in the show, sponsored by Skira Icelandic Spring Water, which is available at your local 7-Eleven. Make sure you go out and pick up a few bottles as the summer weather warms up. And we are going to now transition into, like I said, the second half of the show, my daughter and my son's MLS All-Star picks. So stay tuned. Hey soccer fans, welcome back to Glass House Soccer, and as I mentioned before our halftime break, we are expanding to all members of the Glass House Soccer family, quite literally. We have my daughter Eleni here with her MLS All-Star picks. Now she doesn't know who I picked in my ballot prior to this, so this is all her. These are her decisions. Eleni, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good.
Now, how much MLS would you say you've watched this year?
A lot, because you make me.
I don't force them. I really
Yes,
don't.
you
It might
do.
always be on, but I don't force
Yes,
you to watch
do.
it. I suppose I force you to come outside and play with us too.
And also because my eyes are glued to the screen, so.
Okay, well that's true, as with most kids nowadays, for better or worse. So, okay, Eleni, why don't you tell us about your MLS All-Star picks?
So I'm gonna start with the goalkeeper, I think.
Yes.
So I picked Zach McMath because I think he's done a pretty good job this season.
Okay, and you know what? For goalkeepers, sometimes that's all you need is just a pretty good job. Now, if you're the Chicago Fire, you need your goalkeeper to do an excellent job all the time. But now let's move on up. You made some interesting choices for your defenders here, Eleni. So who are your defenders?
Jordi Alba, Williams, Louis Albram, and Brooks Lennon.
Okay, so I can understand why you'd pick Jordi Alba. Miami is a top team.
Good.
Jordi Alba's playing well, but you have 3 defenders from Atlanta United. Now, Atlanta United usually has a good fan vote. I don't know if they need your help, but why did you pick these 3 defenders from Atlanta?
I kind of like Atlanta, and I kind of like Brooks Lennon a lot, so I put him in.
Any reason why?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. Well, Brooks Lennon has had some years where he played well enough to be an All-Star, and I don't know if this is one of them, but he's certainly playing pretty well considering Atlanta United's position in the table. Now let's look up at your midfielders. Can you tell me your 3 midfielders?
Lucho Acosta, Thiago Almada, and Sergio Busquets.
All right, let's start with the defensive midfielder there, Sergio Busquets. Why did you pick him?
Cause I like when it's like when he's with Messi, like he does pretty good, I guess, when they like team up. And if I put Messi up there in my forwards, I think they might do pretty well together.
It's the Messi effect, huh? All right. What about Acosta and Almada?
Acosta because I think he's done pretty good this year, and Almada because, as I said, I like Atlanta.
You like Atlanta? And I know we were talking off the air, and she had said, well, Almada, I think, was on the All-Star game last year and did pretty good. So
yeah.
I don't remember the All-Star challenge in the All-Star game, but good choices nonetheless. Now let's take a look at your 3 forwards, and there's a little bit of a theme here, honey. Tell me, who are your 3 forwards?
Yorgos Koutsias, Lionel Messi, and Giacomakis.
So why did you pick Koutsias and Giacomakis?
Because they're Greek, you know that.
I do know that, but I do have to answer. A good lawyer, he never asks a question he doesn't know the answer to. So, okay, so Koutsias an interesting pick. If he tucks his shirt in, the Fire should do pretty well, and maybe he would make the All-Star team in the future.
What are you talking about?
Oh, honey, it's out there, and for our viewers, if you haven't, there is a great story that happened over the weekend that a fan pointed out that I'm doing it right now. That since Koutsias started untucking his shirt last August, the Chicago Fire have only won 4 games. It made the rounds online. This fan sent a message to Kellen Acosta to tell Koutsias to tuck his shirt in against the Galaxy. Acosta did, and in the post-game, Koutsias even said, like, yeah, Kellen told me I had to tuck my shirt in, and we won. So it is the Fire front office has picked up on it. They're making tuck in your shirt t-shirts for everybody.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a real thing. So if Koutsias gets on the All-Star team, maybe like the under-20 All-Star team, maybe. If he tucks his shirt in, they got a good chance. Yeah. And Giacomakis, I think he's almost ready to get transferred to Cruz Azul in Liga MX. I know, right? Seriously? I was hoping he would have a lot better season than he's had this year, but
I really hope they don't play against Cruz Azul.
I don't know if everything will go through in time for League's Cup. That would be interesting to see him come back and play against some MLS teams. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Well, how about your last forward pick, Leo Messi? Tell me, honey, why did you pick Leo Messi to your All-Star team?
Because Leo Messi is like the best player in the world.
All right. A fair assessment. Okay, honey, so go ahead, now that we've gone through your team, go ahead and click Confirm Team.
Okay, guys, 3, 2,
Need the fingers.
1, go.
All right, let's get your captain now. Who are you going to pick for your captain?
I honestly have no idea. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, for guys who've actually been captains, like Messi, Acosta, and Almada, I don't know, has Almada been the captain? I don't know. But Brooks Lennon, I think, has been captain for Atlanta on occasion. So those guys who've actually played captain. But who do you think Who would you want to see as the captain of this All-Star team?
Messi.
All right, go ahead. Click on Messi's picture and let's lock in your captain. And scroll down and nominate. Oh, well, hey, look at that. It looks like we have already selected your lineup. That dry run that we did earlier has gone through. So we have confirmed it, and there you go, everybody watching at home. You know that we've picked the same team, and we're not messing around back here. So, Eleni, is there anything else you'd like to say about MLS, about the All-Star game, or just anything you want to say to the viewers?
Go Messi.
There you have it. For my 10-year-old daughter, Eleni, go Messi. Let's go MLS All-Stars. And we will be back shortly with my son Teddy's picks for the MLS All-Star game next. Thank you. Hey soccer fans, welcome back again to the final part of our MLS All-Star ballot and voting here with another member of the Glass House family. My son Teddy, you may remember him from an episode earlier on in the season. Teddy, it's good to have you back on the YouTube channel. How are you, buddy?
Good.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot of soccer this spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd the team do this year?
Good.
Excellent. You think you had a good season?
Yeah. Today we played a game and we won. If the goalie didn't save like 11 of my shots on goal, we would have destroyed them like 15-3.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was rough as the coach watching all these good opportunities just get knocked down by this suspiciously tall 8-year-old. But to have it be my son, have like 5 of his shots just blocked out of the air, or the kid just digs into the corner and it gets it out of there. It was tough to watch, but you know what? You kept your head up and you kept shooting. You kept getting back in there. You didn't get frustrated, and that's the key. You get ready for the next play. So we had a great end of the season. We'll talk more about that on the Feed the Fire podcast. So make sure you go and subscribe there and follow along wherever you get your podcasts so you can hear more fun stories from me coaching youth soccer, as well as an in-depth analysis of the Chicago Fire each and every week. But we are talking MLS All-Star, and Teddy has his votes that he wants to share with everybody. So, Teddy, did you watch a lot of MLS soccer this year?
Yeah, basically every single game that you watched.
Yeah, and there were a lot. And you went to a couple of games this year, right? Which games did you go to?
The home opener against Cincinnati and the home game against Columbus.
Didn't we lose both of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. And I think that's going to influence some of your picks here today. So let's get into it now, Teddy. Let's take a look at your All-Star selections, starting in the back. As we do, who did you pick for your goalie?
Here's one thing. I did not pick any Chicago Fire players, so don't tell me that I'm not going to pick any, because they're really bad.
Yeah, so, it was hard not to vote with our hearts and pick some Chicago Fire players. And unfortunately, I think only Chris Brady might be the one deserving of an All-Star call-up this season. But Teddy ended up picking Roman Berkey for your keeper. Why did you pick St. Louis's goalkeeper?
Because I like Lamar Berkey, and because like in one of his St. Louis games, the commentator said he might be the best goalie in this league.
All right, all good reasons. Now, along the back line, you have Jordi Alba, Tim Parker, Rudy Camacho, and Mo Farsi. Tell us a little bit why you picked some of these guys.
I picked Mo Farsi because he scored the game winner against the game where the Fire were in Columbus. So, a lot of Farsi's play is good.
Great. And Alba, Parker, and Camacho also having really good seasons, right?
Camacho, because when they were playing against the Fire, like Hugo Kuipers, was it Hugo Kuipers?
It might have been. I can't remember. We'll have to look it up afterwards.
He ran straight for Camacho with the ball. Camacho was standing right here. He did kind of a move and went back, and you just saw like Hugo Kuipers just run straight through.
Nice.
And missed. What I'm right about, I don't like Tim Parker, but I picked him because I had no other center back to pick.
Yeah, tough year for center backs in MLS, that's for sure. And Jordi Alba, what about him?
Jordi, I love Miami. I have a Miami jersey on.
Yes, of course. He's got the black one. The pink one is in the wash. We wore that to the soccer game today, so we had to go to the alternate one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's move up and take a look at your at your midfield here. Let's take a look at, you have Lucho Acosta and Ricky Puig as your attacking mids, and Aiden Morris as your D mids. Talk about these guys.
So, what about Aiden Morris, Cucho, and was it Diego Lassi have gotten like 12 goal contributions, they said, in this season so far.
I haven't verified that, but that sounds right.
So, and Aiden Morris has scored probably like at least 0 to 6 of them.
I don't know about that, but tell me, like, what do you like about his play? Why is he an all-star? He's a D-mid.
Yeah. What I like about D-mids is they create opportunities for the last, like, I don't know how much players in the front, back, like, all of them behind him, but all of them in front of him, all of them behind him do all the defensive, and all the stuff in front of him do all the attacking stuff, and so he's probably supporting the attacking as being a D-mid.
Right. And what about Acosta and Puig?
Puig, he can score basically around 20 yards out, like around the 18-yard box. He can score anywhere, but I don't think from behind half line.
No, we've seen a lot of that this season. I don't think Puig has one. And of course, Acosta, the reigning MVP. Now let's move up to the front line. Your three forwards are Cucho Hernandez, Leo Messi, and Chicho Arango. These are three well-known players in MLS, three players who are having pretty good seasons, I'll say, and that might be an understatement. I think a lot of other people would agree with you on at least two, if not all three of these forward picks. So why did you pick these guys?
I picked Cucho Hernandez because he's in that three of Aiden Morris, him, and Diego Lassi.
Okay.
He has scored 4 goals this season. Around, I don't know what place he is in goals for MLS, but he's, like, what I like about his play, I don't like anything about his play.
Okay, you don't like anything about his play, but you put him on your All-Star team just because he's a good goal scorer?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, only 4 goals so far, but he's been very instrumental in Columbus's CONCACAF Champions Cup run to the final there. How about let's go over to Chicho Arango. Why did you pick Chicho Arango?
Chicho Arango has been getting hat tricks and braces, but the goal that he scored from half court, like behind it actually, in zone half, was kind of good.
Kind of good. I think that's a huge understatement. And okay, do we need to talk about Messi?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You want to talk about Messi? Talk about Messi.
Messi
as you wear his jersey.
Is the top MLS assist leader. He is the most assists, and he's tied for 3rd place above Suarez. These are the top 3 goal scorers in the whole league. Arango, Benteke, and
Messi and Suarez. Yep.
So, but I know why Messi's ahead because he has more assists. And anyway, he scores. He got that game, his first ever game was in last year's League's Cup with Miami. He scored the free kick and they won.
Yeah. So he's still playing that good. He's still winning games for him, doing pretty much everything for Inter Miami. Really raised the level of that team. And that's what a lot of voters and a lot of people generally think about when they think of what is an MVP. It's, are they raising the level of all the other players around them? And Messi definitely does that. Okay, so let's review. Goalkeeper, Roman Berkey. Defenders, Jordi Alba, Tim Parker, Rudy Camacho, Mo Farsi. Midfielders, Lucho Acosta, Ricky Puig, Aiden Morris. And strikers, Cucho Hernandez, Leo Messi, and Chicho Arango. So there's your team, Teddy. Go ahead and click Confirm Team. Let's lock it in. And now click Nominate Your Captain. Who do you want to be the captain of this team?
I think the 3 top attackers I'm going to pick. And it's Messi.
Of course. It's got to be Messi. All right, let's go ahead. Click Nominate Your Captain.
And done.
And we are all set. Teddy, you got your vote in. I'm sure MLS thanks you for voting, and thank you to all our viewers out there who have tuned in to the Glass House Soccer MLS All-Star Vote show. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, find the Feed the Fire podcast wherever you listen to your shows, and we will be back with some more MLS content periodically on the Glass House Soccer YouTube channel, as well as each and every week on the Feed the Fire podcast. Thanks for watching.